Yes.
Yeah. Welcome to another episode of One Time for the Fan. I am your host, Jack Spade, checking in. Got homie Dez Dollars with us today. No Bodie
Yes, sir. One time.
3000. Boo Man will probably be checking in shortly as we get ready to start it up here. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and fix this. There we go. A little bit better, man. Whole lot of technical difficulties, man. Whole lot of technical difficulties. What's up, Dez Dollars?
Yes, sir. Happy to be here.
Yes, sir. You already know, man. We talking Falcons football, but before we get to some Falcon football, Dez Dollars, man, how was your weekend, man? How is everything going for you, sir?
Pretty good weekend, man. Just got back from seeing Doctor Strange.
Shout out to Carlo PSN
Awesome
in the
movie.
chat. Doctor Strange.
I loved it. Yes, sir.
Let's talk some Marvel.
Yes.
Doctor Strange, tell me about it. For those that haven't heard haven't seen Doctor Strange, I don't know if you want to listen to this. We ain't gonna drop no spoilers on you.
No spoilers, but Scarlet Witch.
But yeah,
Scarlet Witch. That's all.
Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch.
What I tell you about, especially that one scene when she went into the meeting with the Illuminati. I told you, Scarlet Witch don't play, my boy.
Hey,
Scarlet Witch, she bought it now. She bought it.
Serious.
Marvel is always a good thing, man. Marvel has some amazing movies. They're putting together some great TV shows, and I'm excited for what Marvel can do going into the future. But yeah, with you seeing Doctor Strange and me seeing Doctor Strange, now I can actually let you know about what's going on, how it's getting ready to move into this new phase and Secret Wars, and it's a lot going on with Marvel. But I'm glad you got a chance to see it, man. About damn time.
God, man.
About damn time. As I go ahead and send this link out to the homie. But yeah, we talking about the Atlanta Falcons today, Dez. You got a chance to see what they did in the news recently? Brought in some players.
Yes, sir. We always
Geronimo Allison. We signed another wide receiver.
It's a lot of competition in that wide receiver room.
Man, what? It's like 20 wide receivers in there. All of them over 6'5".
Hey, you don't know what's gonna be out there. You gotta have options. When you don't have no big names at wide receiver, you gotta have options.
Yeah. With the signing of Geronimo shows me that the Falcons they want to compete in the red zone. But now this changes a few things. Because Darby, Olade Zacchaeus, Cordell Hodge, they're just getting slowly pushed away from what the Falcons are going to do. We ain't going in there with no 7 wide receivers.
Mm-mm.
We're not going in there with no 8 wide receivers. All these signings sound good. But Geronimo Allison, we know this cat. He ain't no kid that's like not good in the NFL. He's played in the NFL. He's played at a high level.
With a good quarterback as well.
Played with a really good quarterback. With Aaron Rodgers. I don't want to talk about the Detroit and all that extra stuff, the practice squad and stuff. Now, we talking about Geronimo Allison when he was with the Packers. And he was I would say a pretty good wide receiver. Not gonna get into all his stats and everything, but what Aaron Rodgers did with that wide receiver core, you seen it.
Oh yeah.
You seen it. So what do you think about Geronimo Allison? Is it a good signing for the Atlanta Falcons? It added to their wide receiver room. I think he's, if I'm not mistaken, he's 6'3" as well. Another big physical wide receiver that can get you down, stretch the field. But also when you get down to the goal line at red zone, he's another target. And the clips and the highlights that I keep seeing of him from not also remembering him in the past, he can play wide receiver.
Yeah.
It's a damn good one. So I'm excited to see Geronimo Allison in the Atlanta Falcons uniform this year. Hopefully they're not blowing smoke with some of these receivers and players that they sign and they don't put them on the field and they can start running this basic offense with like 2 or 3 wide receivers. No, they got to stretch the field. Brian Edwards, Geronimo Allison,
find options, man.
Alden
At the
Tate,
end
Drake
of the
London. You
day.
got to stretch the field. Kyle Pitts, Cordell Patterson. This shit's for real when it comes to the wide receiver group. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody checking in. Shout out to everybody viewing the stream. One time for the fan on Facebook, one time for the fan on YouTube. You know we talking Falcons football, man. We talking Falcon football all day, every day. Shout out to Dez Dollars in the building, man. Bodie 3000 not here tonight. I think Boo Man Shawty might be jumping in shortly. He about to get off work soon. So
Sunday special.
We're talking about Geronimo Allison, but Dez Dollars, yeah. Do you like the signing with Geronimo? How do you feel about the new wide receiver?
I like the signing because if you think about it, he might be the most experienced wide receiver that we have in that wide receiver room right now.
Yeah, coming from where he came from with his whole career.
Where he came from, he's played under Aaron Rodgers. He's been on other different teams, so he's been in multiple schemes. He has experience and things like that. So I like the pickup. He can teach these young receivers that we have, like Drake London, him, other wide receivers that we have that haven't seen the field as much as what an experienced wide receiver would. So in all, it's a good pickup. Good size, good body, good wide receiver that you want to see out on the end.
And it's going to be crazy how they're going to match everybody up out there. I mean, once again, it looks good. We got to see them. We want to see them healthy. The one thing that we got to keep talking about is their health. If they're healthy and it looks how it was last season, being 1 win away from the playoffs, we might be able to do something this year. We really might be able to do something this year. And I'm with the signing for Geronimo Allison. I think it's good. And we keep moving from there. But that wide receiver room is
loaded.
Loaded from where you came from when the Super Bowl was over and the Rams won to where you are now. I think those are some improvements, if I'm not mistaken. Like, you've improved your wide receiver room from where you had, Calvin, that situation, Oladay, Russell Gage, Tajay Sharp, man, Christian Blake. You've improved at the wide receiver position, clearly. And with the signing of Geronimo, let's hope he does something too. Let's just hope he does something, because right now, anybody who steps up for this Falcon team is going to be a star damn near, because you got to step up, man. This team we're trying to bounce back. We're trying to rebuild, and being 1 win away from the playoffs last year, it comes down to the same thing we was talking about on the phone earlier with Golden State. They don't have the biggest team out there, but they have some really skilled players, and it comes down to the coaching too. The coaching, man. You got to trust the coaching. You know what I'm saying? 1 win away from the playoffs last season. We had 18 sacks. We were damn near back of the pack, last in the division, last in the NFL again in defensive stats, man. Like, 1 win away from the playoffs, and look at our defense. Look at our offensive line. Look how bad Matt Ryan looked at times. Like, we have an opportunity to do something this season, but we'll see. You'll see. But yeah, Geronimo Allison, that's what's up, man. Shout out to Geronimo joining the Falcons, man. Do something. Make something happen. Shout out to everybody tuning in on YouTube. Shout out to everybody tuning in on Twitter, Facebook. One time for the fan. Check us out. One time for the fan on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. One time for the fan on Facebook. You already know it's all about the Falcons. All we talk about is the Falcons. But if you look at this roster, right, there's a couple pieces the Falcons are still missing out here, right? They've improved in the secondary. They've improved in the wide receivers through the draft, through all this. That's what they've been doing. But one thing they really haven't touched yet, and shout out to Carlo, bottom line comes down to the mentality they bring on to the field. That's right, bro. Everybody's on the same page. If everybody's on the same page on Sunday, all 53, no matter what play it is, no matter how it is, we can get the job done and we can win some games. it's just that's what you said. The mentality, it comes down to that, man. The physical
Exactly.
aspect too as well. But everybody got to be on the same page. You got to believe that you can make some shit happen. Don't look at the schedule and just believe we're just gonna lose. These players, and we're gonna get to that in a little bit about tanking. These players ain't waking up on game day talking about they finna tank and lose this game. Man, they finna go hard to get a win. But looking at some of the players on the Falcons roster, looking at some of the position groups, the Falcons are still missing a couple pieces. And I think they're missing, and this is just my opinion, I think they're missing a veteran edge rusher. If you're thinking Kaminsky and Nick Thurman's gonna be the guys, hey, y'all have it. I've seen Kaminsky play. Not too big on Kaminsky. I'm just not. But then again, if it works in the scheme that Pease is going to be pushing, let's do it. But Clowney got signed back today with the Browns for I think it was $11 million.
Mm.
So there's another veteran pass rusher out the door. Trey Flowers, I think he's still on the board too as well. You got to look at some pass rushers that you can get in here to get beside Grady outside of some of these rookies that we're so high on, Dr. Arnold and D'Angelo Malone and them. I mean, are you big on Kaminsky, Des Dallas? Yeah, the last time I asked you about John Kaminsky, you said who? You didn't even know he was playing for the Falcons. He plays for the Falcons. Did you know that?
I knew that, but as when I say who, it's like what has he done to make a name as a Falcon? Like he
Mm-hmm.
really hasn't done anything. So it's just like I'm not downing him. I'm not saying he's a bad player.
Yeah.
We just haven't had those plays we needed from him. So I mean, we're ready to see our defense thrive. We're ready to see our defensive players make plays. We're ready to
Yeah.
see our defense win football games.
Yeah.
And my opinion is he isn't in that defense that's going to do that for us.
Yeah.
So
And I agree with you. I mean, like you said, what has he done to prove himself as somebody the fans should be like, hey, y'all need to be ready for John Kaminsky this season?
right.
But stars sometimes have their breakout year. Hell, look at Fowler when he came from LA to us. People thought Fowler was going to be the truth up in here. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. You know, I'm looking at the Falcons and I'm looking at the roster, and I'm like, if they believe John Kaminsky is going to get to the quarterback and do what he's supposed to do this season to help this team win, they're going to keep him on the roster. But I don't know, man. I don't. If I'm scouting a team and I'm looking at John Kaminsky on the edge, I'm like, man, I'm running over there all day. I'm over there all day. Like, that's how it is, man. But yeah, Trey Flowers is still out there as a free agent. You know, if they want to go get Darrell Williams, offensive tackle, I mean, if they're trusting so high in McGarry and Mayfield, like they said, I think Arthur Smith has already stated that Mayfield should be better this season and so forth. So they must believe that Mayfield is going to be their guard going forward. But he was damn near back of the pack last season, bro, when it comes to offensive guard. And that's tough because you're looking at your offensive line. All right, let's line it up. You got your Jake Matthews, your Chris Lindstrom, and then you got your center position that you're having problems with. Matt Hennessy, Drew Dahlman, they're going to fight it out this year. You don't have a true center like how we had Alex Mack in the past and so forth. I mean, the Falcons, one thing about the Falcons, especially in the past that they've always had a problem with was, you know, the center position, guard position. They got to lock that stuff down. And going across the line, I mean, I want to see the Falcons win a lot of games this season and shock the world and say, hey, we're going to win more than 4 or 5 games. We'll go to the playoffs. But looking at the offensive line, it's tough, bro. It's tough when you got Lindstrom, Matthews, the center position with Dahlman and Hennessy. You don't know what you're going to get from there. And then Mayfield, what he did last season, you don't know what you're going to get from him this season. And then you got Caleb. He's fighting for a contract. He might lose it to a Fetty. Hell, Wilkerson might take his job, the new free agent they brought in from Chicago. But look at that, man. We're not solid on the O-line like we talked about the defense in the past. We're not solid. I mean, we talked about the wide receivers. That shit sound good. Drake London, Kyle Pitts, everybody, you know, the height, the physicality of these receivers. But that offensive line, Mariota gonna be moving. Ritter might be, but hey, you might have to run shotgun all damn game.
Whatever you got to do to get the win, man.
Whatever you gotta do to get the win. I'm with that.
I just feel
Akeem
like
Hicks on the board, Eddie Goldman.
these are all experienced edges that can come and impact our defensive line. So, like you say, that is one position as well that I think that the Falcons need to be looking into invest in.
Yeah.
Rather, if it's not right now, maybe in the draft next year, but we do or free agency next year. We need that big play end off the
Yeah,
edge.
yeah. I mean, if you're looking at it, I mean, Eric Flowers from Washington played all 16 games of Washington last season. He's a true guard. If the Falcons looking to bring in a guard and bring him over here,
Mm-hmm.
Emmanuel Johnson, shout out to Emmanuel in the chat. The offensive line is bad and the team is young. We need to get better up front. Shout out to Emmanuel Johnson in the chat, bro.
And
You're
I
right
was
about
thinking
that,
that
man.
our line is young,
Yeah,
and it just comes down to where you have to make that play. I
yeah,
understand you're young, but you're in the NFL for a reason.
yeah.
You've made it this far, and you have to make that play. So, and I feel like that's where it's kind of going with our line. We have young potential, but they just have to make that play. And that looks like that's what we're riding on. I mean, I know we want pickups, we want veteran, and we want experience, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you have to have those young guys that are here to make that play and become that veteran. And that's looked like we're kind of invested in with all these young linemen that we've kind of got in the past.
Yep. Shout out to Boom Man about to pull up. Eric Flowers is a guard you can bring in. Got his experience. I think he'll plug the position better than Mayfield. You know, why is he still out there? Quentin Spain too as well, guard. But the thing about Jake Matthews, and Boom Man said it earlier when I was talking to him on the phone. Jake Matthews been good because he's been consistent. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you got to get some other players on that line that is consistent. Chris Lindstrom is one. You got you one with Lindstrom. You got you one there. So knowing that Matthews is a Falcon for life, and then you got Lindstrom that's going to be coming up. He's going to be a Falcon for life. You can build an offensive line with a veteran Matthews who's getting ready to, pass the torch soon. But don't be surprised next draft if the Falcons go right guard or right tackle with the first pick. Don't be surprised. Because people saying, nah, we finna get Stroud and quarterback. No, we're not.
No.
I posted it today. Falcons are heavy on Ritter. They're
Yeah.
heavy. Look at the interviews. Look at the tweets. Look at the pictures. They're heavy on Ritter. They're giving this kid the love. Emmanuel Johnson, shout out, bro. Young team have growing pains. That is true. We may not win more than 5 games, let's be honest. I want to see development of our young players. Next year has to be a playoff team. I mean, we can agree to disagree. I think the Falcons gonna win more than five games this season. We were 1 win away from the playoffs last year with a veteran quarterback, broken offensive line, defense that couldn't get nothing. We've improved. Not to say that we're a Super Bowl contending team. Nah, don't. I'm not going there. But I think we've improved enough to win another game to get to the playoffs. The coaching is, the coaching is doing well. And they're going to get better this season. They got the pieces they need. This is like their first true official season without Matt Ryan, and they can build this team. I'm excited to see what the Falcons are going to do. I think fans should be excited too. We won most of our games on the road, last year. Looking at some of the games this year, I mean, LA's a tough one. Seattle, not worried about Seattle. Cleveland, they might not even have Deshaun Watson. Week 1, Kamara might not even be playing. You have a 4-game or a 5-game win streak between the Carolina game, the 2 Carolina games, the Charger game. Don't sleep on that Charger game. People think Chargers going to come in here and light us up. Don't sleep on that game. That could be a game we sneak away with a win. Come on, man. Like, everybody's going to have their opinion, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I respect everybody's opinion. Emmanuel Johnson, I respect your opinion, bro. You know what I'm saying? I respect everybody because I'm a Falcon fan. I'm a season ticket holder. I want to see them win, man. I go to these games. You know what I mean? But I know these games are going to be tough. It ain't going to be no cakewalk. The last year's schedule was easy, and we only beat one winning team. This year's schedule, yeah, this schedule is going to be tough this year. Yeah, hey, I'm not disagreeing, bro. The schedule is going to be tough. I just think that with the coaching and some of the players that we've improved on to help out our red zone targets and stretching the field, from the wide receiver group to the secondary, adding Casey Hayward, big upgrade from Fabian Monroe. You got Grady back in your scheme now. Your edge rushers is what I'm worried about with John Kaminsky and Nick Thurman. You know what I'm saying? But looking at the linebackers, I don't know what they're going to do with Dion, but I think Troy's a solid improvement so far for middle linebacker. This Nick Kowalski guy they're bringing in too as well. They're finna blitz the hell out the quarterback, Diz. They're finna
I
blitz like
believe it.
crazy this season. I don't know if you guys seen it from some of these players they picked up. They're about to blitz like crazy. So let's hope it works. Let's hope to get the job done. But shout out to Emmanuel Johnson, man. Um, hey, if the Falcons do win more than 5 games this season, bro, hey, I kind of called it. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I'm looking at the schedule. I can see more than 5 wins right now. But can they make it to the playoffs? We'll find out. But there's dollars, man. The free agents, um, you bring in a veteran offensive guard or a tackle, you bring in a veteran edge rusher, it can help you out. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
It can help you out right now because I think the Falcons are not done signing. They probably have about 1 to 3 more players they can bring in here. You know, they got a little bread. They got a little money.
Definitely.
Shout out to everybody that's
Definitely.
joining the chat right now. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, One Time for the Fan. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that share button. Yo, shout out Chase. Shout out Chase in the chat. Shout out, shout out. You already know. Hit that share button, hit that like button. Shout out to Emmanuel Johnson, man, showing up, giving us his input about the Atlanta Falcons here in the chat, too. Shout out to Carlo PSN. He said, true facts and all that sports. Rookies need to forget what they did in college and start making plays and make a name for themselves. These rookies got to shine. And we
Very
drafted some really
true.
good rookies, though. I mean, I understand we couldn't get some of the players that the fans wanted, but you needed a number 1 wide receiver. Look at the board. Going into draft day, you needed a number 1 wide receiver. You got it. You feel what I'm saying? You needed a backup quarterback to become probably your future. A really good one. You got it. Sorry we couldn't go get some of them Georgia players. I'm a Georgia guy. Bodie's a Georgia guy. Dez, you're a Georgia guy. Drake is that guy. That Drake London shows on Wednesday. We got Carlo Jimenez from the Pac-12. He's joining us on Wednesday. Y'all tune in on Wednesday. Y'all want to ask Drake London questions? Y'all want to talk about Drake London? Tune into the show on Wednesday, 8 o'clock. We got Carlo Jimenez from the USC Trojans student radio, sports director, Pac-12 broadcaster. He's followed Drake London for 3 years. He knows Drake London. Interview Drake London. CarloJimenez.com. He's on the show Wednesday. It's going to be a good show. Wednesday's going to be a good show. But just moving on, I mean, the Falcons with the free agents, I say bring in a couple more players. Build this roster up. Get some more 1-year deals out. Shout out to Terry for what he's doing, man. He's doing a great job. I give Terry all the respect right now. He's doing a great job messing with the cap. Don't forget about next season, folks. 100 milli. What are they talking, man? And I think we play the Colts next year in Atlanta. So I think Matt Ryan's coming back to the A.
No,
It's
I'll
gonna be
be
fire.
there.
Shout out to Chase in the chat, man. That's fire, bro. It is big time. One time for the fan on YouTube, one time for the fan on Facebook, one time for the fan on Twitter. You already know what it is, man. We talking Falcons football every Wednesday, every Sunday. We talking Falcon football every day, man. Grab your drink. Pull up. Going into what we got to talk about next. What rookie from last season, Dez, do you think can make the jump and have a fantastic second year? I'm Richie Grant all day.
Yeah, and that's where I'm going, Richie
Yeah.
Grant, because he has room to improve. I know everybody would think, oh, rookie that's going to excel next year. Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts did his thing this year, so if he does it last year. So if he does it again this year, I mean, we were probably thinking he would do that because he did it last year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're looking for a player last year that had a little balance, but we're looking for them to, kind of peak out this year. And in my opinion, I want to see Richie Grant. I want to see that second.
You
I
were
want to see
big on Richie
somebody.
Grant last season when we picked Richie Grant.
Yeah,
Remember, we was in the
yeah.
chat and I was texting running back, Javonte Williams, running back. Now's the
Mhm.
chance. And then as soon as Richie Grant hit, you were throwing up the goddamn them gifts, boy. You throwing them gifts in there, the emojis. You were like Richie Grant. You see it, boy. You knew about Richie Grant. So what's up,
Know
man?
about Richie, man. He's good, man. He's physical. He moves around the field. I just think he's getting comfortable. And I feel like this year might be that year, breakout year. I mean, we got it makes sense. You got Casey Hayward on one side, and you got AJ Terrell on the other side. If you think about it, he kind of doesn't have to worry about those outside corners anymore because you have some elite corners out there. So now when you're more more focused on that middle of the field
Yeah.
and you know where the safeties can roam around, it makes it easier on yourself and you're able to make plays.
And you're
So
correct on that. Because don't forget, Falcons fans, we're going to win 4 games with a top 5 corner on your left and a top 10 corner on your right. You think they're coming in here to get mashed up every game? Teams are scouting, looking at the cornerbacks in the secondary saying, oh, shit, the Falcons got AJ Terrell and Casey Hayward over there. This shit's real. These players when they come out here and ball out. AJ Terrell, that's Terrell Island. Look at the PFF. Casey Hayward. That's Hayward Island. Look at the PFF. There's a 2 lockdown corners, top 10 corners in the league playing on the same team. Richie Grant, Jalen Hawkins. Richie Grant for 1, because now Harris is behind him, 1-year deal. Dean Marlowe's there, 1-year deal. Tease Tabor is back there, 1-year deal. Unofficial depth chart is Tease Tabor at safety. So maybe they bring another cornerback. I mean, you got Darren Hall in the slot with Isaiah. You got AJ outside with Casey. Maybe might bring in another cornerback. Kevin King still out there from Chicago, I think it was. They'll bring in another Bear. Shit.
mm-hmm.
The Atlanta Bear Titans, is what they keep calling us. But look at what's going on here. We need a pass rusher. Shout out to Emmanuel Johnson. He's here. We need a pass rusher because you can't cover for long. It's true. Hopefully we can improve on the 18 sacks we had last year. If we improve on the 18 sacks we had last year, that means that some of those sacks, especially looking at this season, was third down type situations. We couldn't get off the field. You get off the field, you can get some shit happen. You could have beat Washington last year. You blew the game in the second half. You could have beat Carolina at home last year. Let Sam Darnold look like a fucking champion. Come on. Shout out to Emmanuel Johnson in the chat. AK-47 will be our sack specialist. Man. Dr. Arnold, well, we heavy on that. Dean Pease was on the radio today. He said, I think we got 2 good young safeties who are going to get the opportunity now this year. He's talking about Richie Grant and Jalen Hawkins. Hearing Dean Pease say that, he's a safety guy. Loves them safeties. I think they have some schemes drawn up for Richie Grant and Jalen Hawkins, and it's getting the opportunity now to see these young cats get a chance to ball out this year. Shout out to Eric Harris. Shout out to Dean Marlowe. Come in and be the depth. Eric Harris, you're a veteran. Coach the young guys. Help them out. But you're here on a 1-year deal. You understand? Richie Grant is our future safety. Am I right, Des?
Definitely.
That's your guy. Your second-round pick from last year's draft. That's your guy.
Yes, sir.
He's your future safety. I posted it today about Desmond Ridder. We're not getting a quarterback next year in the draft. Not in the first round. There's no CJ Stroud, folks.
If you think about it, everybody's talking about we need a quarterback.
Ridder.
We got Ridder. And even if you don't think about Ridder, hell, we got Felipe Franks. Give him a chance. You didn't even put him on. You put him on the field preseason. You don't really know what people can do preseason. They out here with the
sad part is
round,
on the depth chart,
round.
you're not going in there with 3 quarterbacks. You're not going in there with 3 quarterbacks. You're going in there with Mariota. You're going in there with Ridder.
And that's it.
So unless Felipe is on the practice squad, I mean, 3 quarterbacks in your depth chart. You're trying to build your 53, and most of them are going to be offensive and defensive players. Like,
that's true.
You need to get some more linemen. This Josh Grossman guy, I don't know much about him. Wilkinson, Affetti. You need some more. You need a couple more offensive linemen. You know, this training camp's coming up soon. Preseason, they're going to find some more players to build this roster, and they're going to compete. Because that's what Arthur Smith said on the radio the other day. We're going to compete. It's going to be a fantastic and exciting brand of football that you're going to love to see. This is your coach telling you that. Who was 1 win away from the playoffs last season. Shout out to Emmanuel Johnson in the chat. People that pump the brakes on Ridder and not crown him yet. Not crowning Ridder. No, I don't give him the crown, sir. I just know that when the Falcons, this draft was big with the quarterback situation because of the Matt deal. So when the draft came up, the Malik Willis and the who we going with, the Matt Corral, Desmond Ridder, when it happened, we kind of knew like, oh, there goes the Falcons quarterback. But look where he came from, Cincinnati. You know what I'm saying? They didn't select no quarterback from like Washington State. You know what I'm saying? Or a dude from like Wyoming Community College. Cincinnati was a damn good team last year in the college football playoffs. A damn good team. And Ritter can lead in offense. I'm not crowning them. But looking at the future with your dual threat mobile quarterbacks, Mariota, Ritter, they both running the same scheme. They both fit the same style. They're going to make something happen. Look at your 3rd and 2s last year with Matt Ryan, Des. We called it. Des, you calling this all the time. 3rd and 2. It's about to be a sack. You were looking at it like about to be a sack because here come the blitz and Matt Ryan can't escape it. But now you got 2 dual threat quarterbacks that can escape it. Not saying that Ritter's going to be the GOAT and he's just, nah, man. I'm just saying for right now, the Falcons have 2 decent quarterbacks that I think can help them win some games this year. And when Mariota's done, maybe if it's Ritter next year, it is what it is. But I don't think they're drafting the quarterback next year. Not with taking Ritter in the 3rd round. The way that they're posting the pictures and the videos and the clips, Ritter's going to see the field this year. He's going to see the field. So I'm not giving him the crown, but I salute the Falcons for selecting Desmond Ritter, though. He's a talented player. I mean, Emmanuel Johnson, do you agree? He's a talented player in college. Look at his stats. Look at his performance. Did the Falcons do good selecting Desmond Ritter? Des, are you upset that the Falcons selected Desmond Ritter? Are you cool with that?
I like it.
I like that. That was actually a decent pick that the Falcons did. I mean, we were watching the draft. We did the draft show. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody in the chat. One time for the fan on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. One time for the fan everywhere. We're talking Falcons football. Man, y'all stay tuned. We got so much to tell you about One Time for the Fan. We ain't done yet. We ain't done. Shout out to Chase in the chat. Shout out to Emmanuel in the chat. I hope so, but we will see. I hope so too, Emmanuel. We Falcon fans, brother. Emmanuel, do you agree? You want to win some games? I want to win some games. Des, do you want to win some games? What if we shot the world this season and win some games and go to the goddamn playoffs? Is everybody going to get mad at that? You know, the team came to compete. It was 1 win away from the playoffs last season. Let's give the coaching some credit. They're going to come out there this year and they're going to knock some heads off. I like the improvements that we've made. I know we're going to lose some games. I look at the schedule and say, damn, that week 2, I'm going to LA. I'm going to the Rams-Falcons game week 2. I know what could happen that game. I know how bad it could be. But I believe in this team. I wake up, I put my Falcon gear on, and I believe in this team. And I go to these games and say, if you're watching over us, give us a win. And, you know, it is what it is, man. The team wins, the team loses. It's entertainment, though. You know what I'm saying? Des is right. It's entertainment. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? Outside of football, what do? You wake up, you go back to work, deal with your family. But for those moments, for those hours, for that time period, it gives you something to do. And it's fun. Emmanuel Johnson is fun. You're just a realist. I agree with you, brother. I agree with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm with it, brother. If the Falcons win, they win. If the Falcons lose, then hey, we pack it up and get ready for the next game. But moving on to what we're talking about here, we talked about Geronimo Allison. Talked about the Falcons free agents that is still available. Oh, I'm sorry, not the Falcons free agents in the NFL that's still available that the Falcons should probably go after. What rookie from last season, Richie Grant, Des, you talked about it, Kyle Pitts and Richie Grant. And then the next thing we can talk about, I'm sure Emmanuel wants to hear this. Are the Falcons tanking this season? Falcon fans want us to tank to get a quarterback. Some of them, not all of them. They want us to tank to get a high draft pick. Do you know who you drafting next year? Des, you the GM right now. You in the room. Do you know who you drafting next year?
Not at all, because you have so much possibility.
Nobody knows who you're drafting next year.
Nobody, because
nobody. What are we tanking for?
What's going to happen yet? Exactly. It's not even. Everybody's always like, "Is this team tanking? Is that team tanking?" In our reality, nobody's tanking. The real question is, who's going to be able to compete?
Yep.
At the end of the day, who's going to be able to line up on both sides of the ball and win in the trenches? Who's going to be able to compete? The Falcons aren't tanking, but the Falcons want to compete. So that's why we're making all these moves. That's why we're putting so many receivers in the wide receiver room. We've gotten many linebackers to come in the linebacker core. We're making moves because we want to compete. So it's not the Falcons are tanking. No, we're not. We are trying to compete. So if anybody wants to ask the question, it should be, are the Falcons going to be able to compete or not this year? Not are the Falcons going to tank or not? Because no, not
Here goes a
tanking.
good one for you. Falcons go, I don't know, 3-14. Fans are happy. Ritter hit the field. He didn't do what he was supposed to do. The Falcons go to the draft and they select right guard Boris Johnson from the University of Temple. You feel what I'm saying? You don't know who the Falcons going to select, man. And then fans will be sitting there looking like, right guard? Yeah, man, that position was needed. Best player available. You wanted us to tank? There you go. You got your player. Man, come on, man. The Falcons going to compete, bro. Falcons going to compete, man. Look at the players that we brought in. We got rid of Foyer. Calvin situation. Brought in some wide receivers. We've the Matt Ryan situation. Yes, I understand. Mariota doesn't make our quarterback room better compared to Matt Ryan. Some big shoes to fill. But there's some situations last season where it was 2nd and 2. Falcon fans, you know this. 2nd and 2, 3rd and 3, shotgun formation, blitz package. Matt steps up. Either it is incomplete or he's sacked. Because, I mean, there was open space in front of him, and then everybody goes and starts tweeting and texting. Man, if we had a mobile quarterback, we get that first down. Well, we got 2 mobile quarterbacks. So just imagine the same play happening this season. Mariota's going to tuck and run. He's going to get some yards. Matt didn't want to tuck and run. A lot of times, Matt would tuck, go to his spot, and set his feet to throw again. One of those times where he could have just ran. Dez, you were calling that shit in the chat all the time, like, bruh, what is this man doing? And I would have to disagree because I'm a Matt Ryan fan. I would have to disagree. You saw me going back and forth with you, bruh. It was the O-line, bruh. It was the wide. I was saying everything to not blame Matt Ryan on that shit.
Matty Ice.
But it's the real, man. I recognize that. I knew what was going on, but I just couldn't come to the agreement with, like, God damn, this guy Matt is just. It's getting tough out here. Like, I don't know if the NFL is getting tougher or Matt Ryan's not getting tougher, but this shit is ugly. But I like what Emmanuel just said. Here we go. I think we're going to see the playbook open up because of the mobility of our quarterbacks. How you feel about the red zone this season, Emmanuel? Olade Zacchaeus, Christian Blake, Russell Gage, 5'10", 5'11", 6 foot, going in the red zone. Versus your 6'5" wide receiver Drake, your 6'4" wide receiver London, Tate, 6'3" Cordell Patterson, 6'6" Pitts. When you line up on that red zone, boy, everybody better stand up. If you in the Benz week 1, when we line up in that red zone, you better stand up. Because it's about to be a touchdown. We ain't stacked the house to bring Koo out to get no 3 points like that. Not so easily, no. No. But we stacked the house to get some plays, to get some players to make some plays out here. And if you look at some of their stats, a lot of them are some good red zone targets. Brian Edwards was decent in Oakland. Auden Tate was okay in Cincinnati. He was all right. You know what I'm saying? Me and you both. Shout out to Chase. Me and you both. I love that boy Matty, but it was time to move on. When you think about it,
all of these receivers that we have picked up, they've made plays at the places they were at. They might have not have been that 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But they did what they needed to do in the position they were in. So now that they come to the Falcons, who don't have necessarily a number 1, number 2 receiver, this is their time.
Yeah.
And it just makes me think that, man, these receivers are really going to compete. And we're really going to get something out of these receivers because it's like, hey, you're finally having that chance to be that number 1, number 2, that primary receiver out there. You're not the 3rd, 4th on the depth chart anymore. You can finally make that name for yourself. Yeah. So it's like, man, it's just like fuel to the fire for these receivers. Man, it's like, hey, let me go out here, let me give it 110%. This is my opportunity, man. Like, you can't beat this, man. You're on a team that really doesn't know who they want to play at wide receiver. So, like, why not? Come on now.
And just like Emmanuel just said right here, we finally get to see fade routes. We got them big physical receivers, 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". Hell, you better throw some goddamn fade routes. You better throw some damn post corners. Quit with this drag and, man, we ain't the Saints. We ain't running them slants, man. Man, we better stretch the field, man. But you got receivers though. Compared to Zacchaeus, I mean, from last season, he was good. I like Zacchaeus. Russell Gage and Tajay Sharp and the other receivers. Separation was one of the biggest things for the wide receiver group. They couldn't get off the line of scrimmage when Matt Ryan said height. Their separation, their route running wasn't the best. I think you said their route running ability was like 50 something on Madden or something like that. Like it's bad, bro. Like you got big physical receivers that can get off that line of scrimmage now, though. And it presents mismatch problems. Don't forget about Damian Williams in the backfield. Don't forget about Tyler Aguirre in the backfield. There's so many players we haven't even talked about, bro. We 40 minutes into the show. We just mentioned Tyler Aguirre for the first time. He was damn near the best running back in college last year. Come on, man. Well, I'm so ready, man. Shout out to Emmanuel Johnson again in the chat, man. We should see some jump balls this year. We should be more expensive if we can run the ball. Probably explosive. We would want to open up the play action down the field. That's Arthur Smith's scheme. Run, play action. You can do it now. Drake will stretch the field for you. Your running backs. Don't forget about, we're talking about Drake and Auden Tate and Pitts. Don't forget about Patterson. Look what Patterson did for us last year. Was one game away from the playoffs. Look what Patterson did by himself. He was out there by himself.
It's a Swiss Army knife, man.
Man, he's a Swiss Army knife, man. Shout out to Cordell Patterson, man. So the Falcons are not tanking this season. But we have so much to talk about right now on the One Time for the Fan show, man. It's only an hour. The show is only an hour, y'all. 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Wednesday and Sundays. The date might change to getting closer to the schedule because we hitting the road with the Falcons this season, like always. So we're bringing you some exclusive content for the Atlanta Falcons, man. You feel what I'm saying? But we talk about the Falcons all day, man. We respect the Falcons. You know what I mean? They're a good organization. They're a good franchise. They're a good team. That's our team right there. That's our team, bro. That's your team? That's your team, Dez? That's my team right there. And right here on One Time for the Fan show, all we do is talk about the Falcons. That's all we do. You feel me? Shout out to Emmanuel, man. Got me really ready for the season, I guess. I'm excited. Let's go. Emmanuel, let me tell you something, bro. Dez, we been talking about this shit on the phone the other day. I'm talking about away games. I already know about the home games, bro. Have you ever been to an away game? Man, we lit at the away games. You feel what I'm saying? But One Time for the Fans on the road this season. LA, Seattle, Cincinnati, New Orleans. One Time for the Fan is there. Pictures, videos, everything. I'm trying to get the best content I can for y'all when it comes to the Atlanta Falcons. He wearing the Hawks jersey. We're Hawks fans, but we ain't talking about the Hawks. We're talking about the Falcons. But
it's for the Atlanta, baby.
It's all about Atlanta. Atlanta Braves, the Falcons, the
Atlanta
Hawks,
United,
the Dream, United,
Atlanta.
And then the Bulldogs. The only team I rep outside of Atlanta, not even rep, but I like, is Gonzaga, college basketball. But every year they disappoint me.
Oh my God.
But we want to get to that. Arthur Smith already said it the other day on the radio. He said it's going to be an explosive, exciting brand of football. You hear that from your coach? Sounds like they want to compete. He ain't come out there to lose them games. He ain't come out there to blow the bag against the Saints week 1. It's a rivalry game. Stadium going to be sold out. Ben's going to be packed. Dez, you there?
I'm always.
You said you in the end zone, ain't you? Row 2?
Yes,
row 2?
Sir. We like 50-yard line now.
50-yard line. You're on the 50.
Yeah.
One Time for the Fan, we right behind the bench. We right behind the bench. We going live too.
Yes,
we going live. We right there on the field. We right. Hey, we ready. One Time for the Fan gonna be there. I'm telling you, we ready, man. Shot like Emmanuel just said. ATL all day. Let's go, bro. We ready for this season. We want the Falcons to win some games. Everybody's opinion, it matters. Shout out to everybody who's voicing their opinion about the Falcons.
And it the one thing that makes everybody so ready is for the last couple of years, you know what you really had. You had Matt Ryan, you had Calvin Ridley, you had Julio, and you had your defensive players. You had Grady, you had Dion, you had Trufant, people like that, Alfred and things. But this year, all those names that I named
The new
are
regime.
gone. It's
Yeah.
a whole new team, and
You
that
got
what makes
you got
everybody so
2
ready. You
players
don't.
left, I think, from your Super Bowl.
I think yeah, you got Grady and Dion. Those are like the
Yeah.
only two people I
And
named.
yeah, Jake.
Other than that, and Jake. But
Yeah.
other than that, it's a new team, and we're ready to see what the new, like you say, new regime is going to do. It pumps you up to know that you're going to see something new. You don't know what you're going to see, but it makes you excited because you get to see something new.
Yeah.
It's like we say, we've seen this for the past, and we knew what we were kind of going to get going into the season. We don't know what we're going to get going to the season. All we know is that we want to win football games. So it makes us excited. It makes us ready. It makes us hungry as fans to see what the Falcons are going to do.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm ready for the season. You know, we got to get through the summer. We're going to enjoy these days, these hot Atlanta nights, cookouts. But when it gets down to the fall, we ball. And
Yes.
it is what it is. Now, got about 15 minutes left in the show. Upcoming events, right? So this Wednesday, and shout out to everybody who's been viewing the One Time for the Fan show, One Time for the Fan on YouTube, Twitter. Hit that like button, share button, subscribe, do whatever you have to do, share. We just talking Falcons football. We ain't doing nothing wrong. We just talking about the Falcons, talking about our football team every day, all day. But upcoming events, right? We got uh an exciting show on Wednesday. Carlo Jimenez, USC KXSC student radio on campus. Daily Trojans, USC, the Trojans. He's a broadcaster for the Pac-12, and he's going to be on the show with us on Wednesday. And it's called the Drake London Rookie Report. Carlo is very respected around the USC campus up there in Southern California. He is a big USC football guy. Once again, he's the sports director for KXSC Radio at the University of Southern California. He's going to come with us on Wednesday, and he's going to talk about Drake London. The whole show. We got some questions for him. We're going to talk Drake London. But to hear Carlo, his perspective from Drake London, a person who's seen him play in college, a person who's seen him play throughout these seasons that he's been at USC, is very big to bring to the show because we want to hear from somebody who was there. All we see is just the tape. He called the games. He was a sports broadcaster. I'm going to play a little clip. I tried to load it up right here on the StreamYard. For some reason, it loaded up earlier and now it's saying failure. Don't know what's going on, but I'm going to play a little clip from Carlo, courtesy of Fox Sports, Big Noon Saturday. Carlo Jimenez calling the USC game.
Blitzer near side. Slovis throws that way. London the reception. Inside the hash marks across the 10. Gets to the 5. Charging forward. Drake London to the 2. Before he's tackled. Takes the snap. Gives a car up the middle. Touchdown USC. The Trojans.
He sounds excited to say touchdown. Hear that? You can hear it, Des?
Yeah.
To the 5. Touchdown ASU. They go no huddle. Slovis in the shotgun. On his left hip is Step. He gives it to him. He dives over the pile. Touchdown USC. Flag on the play. Marquis Step.
Carlo Jimenez on the show Wednesday. www.carlojimenez.com. Pac-12 broadcaster, USC, KSXC Radio, Daily Trojan student paper. Right now we're listening to some of Carlo's sports commentary for Fox Big Noon Saturday, courtesy of the Pac-12.
Takes the snap, steps over the bucket, airs one out towards the end zone, far sideline, tipped, caught, Brew McCoy, touchdown.
The next 2 plays is the Drake London touchdown, and that's the question I'm going to ask him on Wednesday. Like, what were you feeling like? You're driving the field, you're coming back against ASU, and then you have the big onside kickoff, and then the next play is Drake London touchdown. Like, I want to know as a USC fan, like, how's it working? Here goes the touchdown.
And it is caught. action as he was blanketed by two defenders, and the Trojans tie it up with a minute 20 to go in the fourth.
You hear that? He sounds like Drake London took them to the Super Bowl, bro. That was just a game versus Arizona State.
Mm-hmm.
Carlo Jimenez, CarloJimenez.com. He's in here on Wednesday. Pac-12 broadcaster, USC Sports student paper alumni, KSXC Radio, CarloJimenez.com. He's in here Wednesday to talk with us about Drake London. Dez, you going to be here?
Definitely will.
It's going to be a big show Wednesday night, 8 o'clock. Carlo Jimenez, Pac-12 broadcaster, USC Radio. Y'all want to know about Drake London? Tune in Wednesday. We got some questions to ask him. He calls games for USC. He's seen Drake. He's interviewed Drake. We get a chance to talk to him live on Wednesday. So that's big for the One Time for the Fan show. Also, upcoming events. June the 3rd. Falcons open practice at the Benz. Dez, you'll be there.
I will be there.
So I got a little access to, make my way around to the other side with the Falcons. So we'll go live. We'll go live there too as well. Bring y'all some footage there, some pictures, some videos. But once again, June 3rd practice, Falcons at the Benz, season ticket holders. If you know a season ticket holder, reach out to them to get tickets. It's only $5. Reach out to them, and it's for a good cause. It goes to the Morehouse School of Medicine. So it's pretty cool that Morehouse gets some of that right there too. Some bread from the Falcons. That's pretty cool. Help out Morehouse. That's what's up. Morehouse is dope. June 3rd, shout out to Chase in the chat. Can't wait for June 3rd, brother. Appreciate you. So yeah, I had some extra tickets and I was able to get Chase 2 tickets. But if y'all know a season ticket holder, reach out to y'all season ticket holders. I think they still have an opportunity to buy some tickets from their season ticket holder account. We want to see all Falcon fans in the building because it's a chance for you to see the rookies, see the players, see the coaches, and get a chance to bring the family out and enjoy some light training. They're not gonna go hard. I mean, I think June 3rd they can put the pads on, if I'm not mistaken, but they're not gonna do nothing. Wow, you're not gonna show nothing from the play, but you're gonna see the season on the field. It's just like a family event to come out and have a good time. But it's gonna be about 20, 30,000 in there. You know how the Falcon fans roll, man. But yeah, we definitely gonna be there. One time for the fan. If y'all see us, say what's up. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna take some pictures, take some videos. Also going on with the upcoming events, we'll find out from the Rise Up tour about the Family Fun Day coming up. We'll have Thomas on the show soon. It's been an interesting show today, I must say. We got some people here check in. Shout out to Chase. Shout out to Emmanuel. We talking Falcons football, folks. We talked about Geronimo Allison today. We like the wide receiver signing. It adds more depth to the wide receiver room, adds more size to the wide receiver room. Geronimo's a big target. When he was playing with Green Bay, I mean, he was a solid receiver. We talked about the free agents still available. The Falcons have an opportunity still with a little bit of money. You can go ahead and get a veteran edge rusher. You still have a couple players left on the board. You can go ahead and get a veteran offensive guard. As we agreed, there's still some players left on the board. But if you're going into this season, the one thing that worries me is the offensive line with Dahlman or Hennessy at center, Mayfield, and then McGarry. That's what scares me. And if you want to compete, like you say, teams are looking at your team right now and saying that offensive line is shaky on that right side. It's shaky. So, Des, what concerns you from looking at the team? I mean, everything looks good on paper. We haven't hit the field yet. But looking at the team, any improvements you would like to make? What do you think? The wide receiver group seems to be solid. The running back room seems to be solid. Fullback, that's good. Quarterback, they're good there. Let's go to cornerbacks. I think they should maybe bring in one more. Safeties, they seem to be solid. Linebackers, hell, they loaded. It's a damn 3-4. You got to be loaded with linebackers. Definitely. But for me, veteran pass rusher, veteran offensive lineman, a guard or a tackle that would help out. I mean, Des, what concerns you? Anything as you look at the Falcons roster?
Same. Our interior play is just it, and if you think about it, our interior play is always what we've kind of spoke on and what the Falcons need to improve on. Every year we need offensive line to, block from Matt Ryan over the past years. Oh, we need extra rush to get to the quarterback. So our cornerbacks aren't just playing in coverage for too long. So like you say, interior offense, interior defense, and edge rush as well. But the line on both sides of the football is kind of where the Falcons need to focus on now. We've got the corners, we got the receivers, secondary linebackers, running back, quarterbacks, interiors left. So if we get the interior right, we will be complete.
And we go off Chase what Chase says right here. Lindstrom and Matthews, your only solid O-line. McGarry better ball out this season because it's contract season. I think Mayfield improves if we get him back to his position. Hearing that Mayfield name is not, that's the thing. That's the one thing, man. That's the one thing that concerns me with this team is the offensive line when it comes to the right side. With McGarry contract season, so I know he's going to be fighting Afedi. Oh shit! Almost knocked down my liquor. Afedi. He's going to be fighting for that right tackle spot with McGarry. Wilkerson that they brought from Chicago. I don't know what he's going to be doing, how he fits in this. They got the Josh Gossman or whatever the kid's name is, the other right guard. He's going to be, I guess, fighting against Mayfield. But because Mayfield started last season, I know the injury situation was rough. They're going to play Mayfield again this year. And he might lose his job right now. We hope that they upgrade from that position. You need to get a veteran in there. Eric Flowers is still available. A couple more players are out there still available, but the Falcons want to improve on something. It starts in the trenches. And we hope Mayfield can make something happen, but we're just not sure of it. Kind of like John Kaminsky, right, Des? We hope he can get something going this year, like how he was in college, but we're just not too sure of it. We know about AJ Terrell. We're sure of that. We know about Casey Hayward. We're sure of that. We know about Drake and Brian Edwards and Kyle Pitts and Cordell Patterson. We're sure of that. But there's other positions that we're looking at, and it's like, damn, that's tough, especially coming from the right guard, the center, and the center too. Like Hennessy and Dahlman. Like, I mean, coming from Alex Mack and that, those years that he was here, that was great to have Alex Mack, man. So much he did from the assisting at the line with the play calling, getting the linemen set. It was just amazing. And then you go from him to Hennessy, and now they're going to be competing. It's tough looking at that O-line. But like you said, Lindstrom and Matthews is solid. So Lorenzo Carter is a sleeper in my eyes as we go to the comments here. Chase, Lorenzo Carter is a sleeper in my eyes. I think he shows out with Ibakite. Ibakiti, I'm sorry. I still can't get his name down. Or however you spell it, and Grady. Should be nasty. I'm with that, Chase. And trust me, man, I'm with you on the same tip, bro. I've been butchering these names for a while since the draft. So I just call him Dr. Arnold now. It's the easiest thing to do. But once again, the one time for the fan show, we wrapping up here. It's every Wednesday, every Sunday from 8 to 9. Right? YouTube, subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. Hit that follow button. We bringing you as much coverage as we can of the Falcons every week. We invite all the fans to be a part of the show, regardless if you think the team's going to lose or the team's going to win. We invite all the fans. So tag a fan, tell a friend about the one time for the fan show. Upcoming events this Wednesday, Carlo Jimenez, carlojimenez.com. He's going to be live with us, USC Radio, Pac-12 broadcaster. He's going to be with us the Wednesday talking about Drake London. It's the Drake London Rookie Report. The whole show is dedicated to Drake London because we know he's going to be our franchise wide receiver. And sometimes we just can't get as much information as we want about a certain player. But on Wednesday, it's about Drake London, the Drake London Rookie Report with Carlo Jimenez, carlojimenez.com, __ Carlo Jimenez on Twitter. But yeah, he's a pretty good broadcaster for the Pac-12 network, and he has seen Drake London play. He has seen Drake London for multiple years, interviewed Drake as well. He's going to let us know what type of wide receiver we're getting with the Atlanta Falcons. So I'm excited for what the future is going to be. And also, June 3rd, Falcons open practice. We will be there. Chase will be there. Bodie will be there. Jabri will be there. Buster Burns will be there. Man,
Yes,
we lit.
sir.
June 3rd at the Benz. The Rise Up tour will be there. And then we going out for drinks after. So, Chase, if you still sticking around after the June 3rd practice, we heading across the street. We'll get some drinks, bro. So we lit the whole day, bro. We gonna treat that shit like game day. One time for the fan that's hitting the road this season. LA, Seattle, Baltimore, Cincinnati, New Orleans. So we're gonna give you some footage there. One time for the fan. This shit's real. It's all about the Falcons, man. That's what the show is all about. It's about the Falcons, man. That's all we talking about. One time for the fan on YouTube. One time for the fan on Twitter. One time for the fan on Facebook. You feel me? I met a Falcon fan yesterday at the at downtown. Big Falcons fan. Now he's considering going to one of the games. You know what I'm saying? From just hearing us talk about the Falcons. We had like a 5-10 minute conversation about the Falcons. I was telling him about some away games. Now he's like, hey man, I want to go to Seattle. Because we believe we want to see this team win. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to a lot's going on right here. The NBA is about to start Golden State, right? Golden State's playing at 9:00 on a Sunday against Dallas. Are you serious? This game should have been on like 7:30. Got stuff to do. But yeah, man, shout out to everybody who's been in the chat. Shout out to everybody who's been subscribing and liking the channel every Wednesday. Hawks, go Hawks. We hope it was y'all gonna be playing in these damn games, but gotta wait another season. Shout out to the Braves, champions. Don't worry. Braves, they lost they won yesterday, they lost today. But they gotta get it going. Atlanta United 2-2. I think they drawed yesterday against Nashville. So we like Atlanta sports. You know what I'm saying? It's all day with us, but it's all about the Falcons here with one time for the fan. Des, do you have any shout outs before we get up out of here, man?
Yeah, man. First of all, I just want to say shout out to Blue Man, man. Stuck on 20, couldn't get home from work, so he couldn't make it. But I know he tuned in. Shout out to all the Falcon fans, man. Shout out to all of Atlanta, man. Shout out to the Falcons. It's gonna be big this year, man. So let's be on the lookout.
Well, shout out to everybody who tuned in tonight. Shout out to this drink. Sipping good. Shout out to the Atlanta Falcons, man. They trying to make some moves to compete this season. Falcon fans should be ready. Like Emmanuel Johnson said earlier, he is ready for this season. You can see the comment right there. Emmanuel Johnson, he jumped in earlier. Shout out to all the fans who's been viewing the stream. We appreciate y'all. Every Wednesday, every Sunday, 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Don't forget this Wednesday, Carlo Jimenez, Pac-12 broadcaster, will be in with us for a whole hour with our Drake London rookie report. Every week, we're doing a rookie report, and we're going to bring to you somebody who can give us a lot of inside information on some of these players that's going to be joining the Atlanta Falcons this season to help us win some games for now and for the future. Once again, shout out to everybody, man. I appreciate y'all. But one time for the Atlanta Falcons, one time for Dez Dollars, one time for Boo Man Shouted, stuck in traffic on I-20. One time for Bodie, man. Prayers up for Bodie and the family.
Yes, sir.
Wish y'all the best. Bodie will be back with us next week. One time for this Super Bowl that the Falcons are getting ready to chase after, because now's the time. One time for Desmond Ritter. One time for Carlo Jimenez on with us Wednesday. I am your host, Jack Spade. Hit that like, hit that share button, hit that follow button. One time for the fan.